very simple, but it's a great example of what I'm going to talk about today, which is that really Rotary is a network anywhere you look. And in this particular case, a fellowship is a friendship. And it's a global friendship that people have united by a particular issue that they care about. Now we have two types of fellowships. We have a regular fellowship and we have a Rotary Action Group. So the first two letters of that website were RA, Rotary Action Group. That means that they are addressing a cause. That cause could be malaria, it could be preventable blindness, it could be maternal health, it could be water. In fact, the largest Rotary Action Group in Rotary is called WashReg. Not to wash your face, but it's the Water and Sanitation Action Group. It is actually going to be chaired by a past Rotary International president. It's become that important. So if you want to find out about how Rotary addresses a global issue that's very, very important to us today, please look up that organization. The purpose of my talk today really is to give you all a message, and the message in short has to do with that I feel, having observed Rotary and our district in particular for a number of years now, we are at the cusp of a great opportunity, and that opportunity could be missed if we don't really take it seriously. And here's what I'm talking about. Generation Y is a generation that's just now graduating from college and starting their career. And perhaps a little bit younger than that also, but they are there now. They are potential Rotarians. And Generation Y is different than Generation X, which is my generation, because they don't have quite as much of a restricted view of the future. They're multitaskers. So Generation X said, I have to graduate from college, I have to have a solid job, I have to save enough money for my retirement early because Social Security is not going to be there for me. I want to support my family, and potentially I'm going to be supporting my parents even, because they weren't good savers. So Generation X is a bit more conservative than the previous generation, actually. However, Generation Y says, that's okay. We'll do all those things, but we'll also do community service, because that's part of the lifestyle that we aspire to. We want to make a difference in the world, and we think that community service is a way to do it. So a lot of colleges these days are actually teaching global citizenship, and they're teaching community service. So these people want to do community service. The problem is that they also want to see the results. This is sort of an immediate culture that we have right now. Facebook, YouTube, the internet certainly. People can see things almost instantaneously of something that happened very, very recently. I see the person in the back nodding, and that's true. That's exactly what I'm talking about. That's how they see the world. It's so much in their grasp. But Rotary clubs, if they have a project, sometimes it takes 3 months, 4 months just to get the project organized and funded and on its way. This younger Generation Y doesn't want to wait longer than about 3 weeks to get a project designed and implemented. And then when it's done, they want to put up a YouTube video. They want to put pictures on the internet and share it with their friends. They want to publicize that they're making a difference. And that's what makes it real for them. So that's their fun. That's how they enjoy it. They want to share the success of their community service. And that's the real issue here, is that how do Rotary clubs adapt a bit? We're already doing projects. We already have an incredible network. We have a wonderful internet presence. We have Facebook, we have Twitter. All these things are there. But Rotary clubs in general have not yet graduated to using them in an active way. We sort of see them as tools that are out there, and that's great. But is it for me? Most Rotarians say, I can let it go. It's not really that important. What's more important is what I can see, what I can work on. Okay? Meaning, when you're cooking, when you're helping your food bank, that's great, that's real, that's true. But think of this room, if you all were successful in doing what I just said, this room would be twice the size when it comes to membership. And think of this room, if you don't do that, this room in about 5 to 10 years would be half as much. And that's not the Rotary I want to see. I want to see a Rotary that's growing. I want to see a Rotary where these people feel good about how they are members of Rotary for their whole life long. And Rotary has so many opportunities that we can grasp from, whether it be an Action Group, whether it be other clubs in our area, whether it be helping kids in high school or college who want to do community service, that really motivates them, and it's a wonderful thing. And they don't really want things to be handed to them. That's another key issue. These people love a challenge. Let me give you an example. In Westchester, we have the Westchester University Rotaract Club. And one of the members there met a lady from Liberia, which is West Africa, very poor country. And she somehow was told through this friend that, you know, one of the things that this friend would really like to make happen when she gets back, when she has her education from the university, is she wants to help this elementary school to be built up, because that's what's drawing the kids off the streets. Without education, they're never going to get off the street. And so she said, well, let me see how I can help you. So this is a sophomore talking to another sophomore, saying, how can we work together? I live in Pennsylvania, you live in West Africa, how can we do this? We have limited funds. Well, they reached out to Rotary. They reached out to my club and to several others, and they raised $8,000 over a period of a year. And they worked with the Rotaract Club in Liberia, which is the capital of Monrovia, and they coordinated all these plans so that they could bring in computers, so that they could build walls around the building for safety throughout the whole day, better roofs so it wouldn't be leaking, desks, the basics, basically. But it really became a serious school. And all of this was actually coordinated not by telephone, not by writing through letters, and really not by any kind of normal communication that you and I are used to. They use texting. And the reason why they use texting is because when I send a message over the internet, it doesn't have to arrive right away. So if the internet is down in Liberia, which it is frequently, that's okay. That text will still get there. So sometimes it would take 3 to 4 days for a quick message to get all the way over to Liberia. But it was free, it was successful, and they were able to continue to communicate and to make something happen. So that's just a quick example, but they figured it out. Nobody told them. And they came to us and they asked, how can we achieve a big goal? And we said, let's work on it. Let's work together. So the point that I'm trying to make here is that Rotary clubs should be helping younger Rotarians, Rotaractors and Interactors, to do good things, to feel like they're making a real difference in the world. We have a lot of tools and a lot of great people who have the ability, time, money, talent, to really help the young people of today to do something great. And if you think about it, you're really teaching them the values of service, of community, of selflessness. Those are things that aren't always taught in school. And a lot of times, even in their families, that's a hard thing to teach. So it's really, it can make a huge difference in our society and in the lives of these people. At the district conference, we will have a service project as well. And that service project will be working with another nonprofit called Stop Hunger Now. And what it amounts to is that we will be packaging meals. Each bag will contain 6 meals. It's a dry product, and once it's packaged, it gets shipped to somewhere in the world where hunger is a huge problem. And our goal is to package 10,000 meals over a two-day period, while also having our conference. And the way that we're going to do this is that we also have to raise some funds, because each meal, each packet costs 25 cents. And that 25 cents pays for the contents and the shipping. Stop Hunger Now was founded by a Rotarian. It is managed by 2 Rotarians currently, and it has support by, at this point, over 40 districts around the United States, and they are global as well. Their food packages go to, I'm told, over 70 countries at this point, or have in the past now, the last 10 years, and they have packaged their billionth meal. So this is all funded by people like you and me who want to make a difference with hunger. And so your participation and your support to sponsor some of these meals is requested. And the biggest thing that we want is, for you all to perhaps connect with an Interact Club or a Rotaract Club and say, can you join us? Can you help us out here? Can you, be a part of our district conference as well to package some of these meals? And I think that's that's a great way to allow a Rotary Club to say to the younger generation, you matter. We want you at a big event where we come together, and you're a part of our world also. You're Rotarians also. So that's your challenge for me, is to see if you can't be a sponsor, see if you can't have a certain number of your members showing up at the conference to do this. And the second component that we want to highlight at this conference is breakout sessions where Rotary clubs get a chance to tell the district what they do well. So if it's a project or something that relates to how they connect with youth, that's the particular emphasis we're seeking, we want to hear about it. So I hope I haven't, and certainly we have a goal that we're going to, our district conferences are typically around 250 to 350 people. We would like at least 100 of the average of 300 members to be youth. So we hope that you will help us in inviting the interactors and Rotaractors in your area to come to district conference. They will be sponsored. That's another issue, is that you know, they're going to be there just for Saturday, so we're looking for luncheon sponsors for youth as well. So if you could sponsor 2 or 3 youth, that would be wonderful. And that's definitely something that they will appreciate, and it's another way for you to give them the message that they matter.
Charles, how much will that cost to sponsor a youth?
$40.
Thank you.
When you say youth, exactly what age groups do you mean? Do you mean youth? Do you mean young adults? Do you mean...
Right. You know, that's a very good question. I would say the short answer is under 30.
Okay.
Because Rotaract really goes up to age 30. And I'd like to dispel a myth as well that Rotary doesn't start at 30. Rotary can start, meaning a Rotary Club is anybody who's graduated from college. We have members in our club in Westchester who've just graduated from Westchester University. They're 24 and 26 years old. And they actually come from a fraternity that's focused on community service. They're called the Friars Society. And they have the Friars and the Abbeys, and those are 2 large groups within the university that's what they want to do. That's their fraternity. And so these people said, what a great segue. Let's join Rotary. And they did. So we now have 4 Friars in our club. They're wonderful members. They're very engaged, and we're happy to have them. One of the quick ways, just to point something out, is that we always challenge a new class of members every year to do something, that they have a project all of their own in order to show us who they are and for them to be given the opportunity to serve. And so they learn quickly what it means to be a Rotarian. But we also tell them, we can make you a member, we can accept you into Rotary, but you will not become a Rotarian unless you do the work. Okay? That Rotary is something that you feel, something that you do out of your heart, and where service above self is something that you express. And when you do that, and you're committed to that, then you become a Rotarian. And that's an individual choice, an individual activity. I'd like to take a moment at this point, and then I'll open it up for some questions. I'd like to honor a Rotarian in your club. If Mark Michelman would please come up. Congratulations. This is a governor's citation awarded to Rotarian Mark Michelman in recognition of outstanding service for Northeast Philadelphia Sunrisers Rotary Club. He's a strong leader and an asset to Rotary.
Say something.
I would challenge everyone around the table, if you haven't had the opportunity to lead this phenomenal organization and find out firsthand a lot of the things that Charles and Rick have been addressing. For me, having just served president my second time, while it, as Marcia is finding out, it is a lot of work, it's also very rewarding. And to serve alongside other presidents and the people that I've met through Rotary, it's just been a phenomenal opportunity. So I'm humbled by Charles's service to the district and Rick and Bob as well at the district level. So it's really an honor to receive this. Thank you.
Can you stand together? Or stand together together. You two. Rather than, oh, there you go. Right here. Mark, look at me.
Smile.
There you go.
Thank you.
Okay, can I answer any questions that you may have about Rotary, about our district, about Rotary in the world, or any ideas that you have? By explaining that Rotary International has so many great things that they've already done, that are already written, that can teach you how to do something in an effective way, whether it be creating a project, whether it be finding money, whether it be learning about foreign culture, finding scholarships, all those things. They have a program already written that you can download from the internet called a Community Needs Assessment. So if you go to Rotary.org, put in those 3 words, Community Needs Assessment, you will get a document that teaches you how to do this. And basically, it is a huge membership development tool because in doing so, you're reaching out to people in your community. They could be nonprofit people, they could be community foundation people, they could be other schools, such as or churches. Anybody that you think is trying to make a difference in the quality of life of your community, that's who you need to reach out for. And typically you go in teams of 3 or 4, and it may take up to a year. It took my club about a year to complete this. And we didn't try to force it, we just said, here's 2 to 3 teams, and they just took turns, and they made a list of all the people that they were going to visit, and they did. And they went to them and they said, we're the Rotary Club of Westchester. We care about helping our community. We'd like to know, what are your challenges? We'd like to know, what do you really think are the major needs of our community? Whether you can meet them or not, we want to know about them. So essentially what we were able to do was to raise the profile of our group as a group of people who are seeking to be connected to the community, who are honest and working hard, and you tell us what your needs are and we'll try to see what we can do about it. And we have a nice membership that cares and that wants to make a difference. So tell us how we can work with you. And that really gave our club a profile way beyond what any advertising in a newspaper could give. It made friends, and we have a list of people that we call the Friends of Westchester Rotary, where essentially they're getting an email of our newsletter. They can join us for a club service project if they would like, and maybe someday they'll become Rotarians. We just had a member join yesterday who's the director of a family services organization, and that's exactly the kind of people we want. We have gained so many new members from this process. It's really hard to quantify in front of you right now. But I would say it's probably about 20% of our membership has come from this effort of reaching out to the community, telling them that we care about their needs, and that you're a leader in the community, we're a leader in the community. How can we work together? That's the message.
How many of the projects did you implement? I mean, did you take from that survey
Very good
the
question.
most needs,
Yep.
and what did you do to implement?
Okay, essentially, it's sort of a little historical thing. We used to support a bike race called Brian's Run, and Brian's Run is still going on. It's it's one of the premier bike races. I'm sorry, running races. What I'm saying, we have a Criterium which just happened. That's a bike race. Brian's Run is a running race. It's one of the premier running races on the East Coast, and we did it for 19 years. And we said after 19 years, we need something new because there's so many other people involved. It's really not a Rotary project anymore. So let's find something better. And so we said, okay, we're going to do a chili cook-off, basically. That's where that idea came from. But we didn't just say we're going to have this huge fundraiser. What we said was we want to have a committee of people who take the money that we raise, and they're called the CPC committee. And basically, they are the philanthropic grants committee. So they take that money and they have put up a website. I was on the committee for a number of years. And with that website, you can download our application. So any nonprofit can download the application, fill it out, and ask for funds. And they get anywhere between $1,000 and $4,000. And in today's world, that's good money for a nonprofit.
What's that website again?
Yeah. Just go to westchesterrotary.us.
All right, thanks.
And you can download that application, you can copy it, you can do everything. Shameless copying is just fine in Rotary because it's all for a good cause. But what that's done for our club is that we get about 17 to 20 applications from nonprofits that need our support every year. And these applications give us the full range of their information, what their needs are, what their budget is like, who's involved. Great information which ultimately helps us to connect with their needs better.